Lalit Modi has been impeached. He has been voted out of the Rajasthan Cricket Association. Remember, we had reported just a short while back that there was an emergency meeting of the RCA which was called to discuss this very issue because a certain faction inside the Rajasthan Cricket Association felt that their players were not being adequately represented in BCCI tournaments, and there was a huge standoff with the Indian Cricket Board ever since Lalit Modi was elected as the RCA president in May this year. The BCCI had earlier said that Lalit Modi, who is a banned individual, cannot be the president of the Rajasthan Cricket Association, and to try and get back into the BCCI fold, members of the RCA today called a meeting, and out of the 33 districts, 23 of them in fact voted to oust Lalit Modi from the RCA. So that's the news that's just coming in, that Lalit Modi is no longer the president of the Rajasthan Cricket Association. There was a no confidence motion which was moved against Mr. Modi by members of the Rajasthan Cricket Association, and now over 20 districts out of the 33 districts have voted against Lalit Modi, and he has been removed as the president of the Rajasthan Cricket Association. In news that's just coming in, Amin Pathan, who is the secretary of the Kota district and also one of the vice presidents of the RCA, has been elected as the new acting president of the Rajasthan Cricket Association. It's not a permanent post. Remember, Lalit Modi is not here in India. He hasn't come back to India in a long time. His passport was given back to him just recently, and he had then promised to return to India in a short while, but he did not return to India. Mahmood Abdi, who was the long-time lawyer of Lalit Modi, was acting as the deputy president of the RCA, and he was really the one who was looking after the day-to-day functioning of the Rajasthan Cricket Association. But that, of course, was not taking the association anywhere. The players were suffering, and by default, the officials inside the RCA were also out of the BCCI fold. They wanted to end that, and the result is that Lalit Modi has been voted out of the Rajasthan Cricket Association. Joining us for more on this live on the phone line is veteran cricket commentator Mr. Kishore Bhimani. Mr. Bhimani, thanks so much for joining us once again. Your first reaction now that we know for a fact that he has been voted out.
Well, you had the indicators a short while ago, and it was obvious that if the meeting was held, it was to find a solution to this, which did not involve this continuing standoff against the BCCI, as well as legal action. Neither of them were feasible. You can't go on forever, and the association must be under pressure from young players also, who are not going to be represented. They were not going to field the Ranji Trophy team. They were not going to be part of the central zone. So if this was continuing, obviously there's far too much power with BCCI. BCCI lived up to its name of Board of Control for Cricket in India. It's not the Indian Cricket Board, it's the Board of Control. They control cricket. They've proved it once again. And the fact remains that one is happy for Rajasthan. One is happy that Rajasthan players, Rajasthan cricketers will not continue to be penalized because of a standoff between Srinivasan and Lalit Modi. So we have a situation now where Rajasthan continues to play, but it is a bit of a sad chapter that a man elected, as far as I remember, he got 27 out of 32 votes once upon a time. Right. And it was only because of his standoff with the board that he was not allowed to function. He was functioning by proxy. He was functioning by remote control from London. Now that can't go on. Let's look at it the way from the BCCI point of view. If he had come back and made a claim, fair enough. If he had come back and said, okay, now I want to be a real acting fundamental president, I don't want to be an absentee president. If he had done that, it would have been acceptable. But I suppose you look at it this way, that in the end, what has happened today is for the best of the game. Best for the game because the people of Rajasthan, the players of Rajasthan, the board, the cricket team and so on will not suffer. Rajasthan has produced some fine cricketers. It has also produced some fine administrators from the days of the Rungtas and so on. So let's look at it this way, that what has happened, we hope will be good for cricket.
Absolutely. Let's hope what's happened will be good for cricket and, of course, good for the young cricketers of the state. Mr. Bhimani, stay on the phone line, please, sir, with us. We're also being joined now by my colleague Harsha Kumari Singh, who's been tracking that story very closely. Harsha, you know, immediately after Modi was banned by the BCCI and after he was elected as president, they suspended the RCA. Sanjay Patel, the BCCI secretary, went on record to say that as far as we are concerned, Modi is a non-existent person. It looks like the RCA is also towing the same line now.
Well, Well, yes, I mean, we've just spoken to Amin Pathan, who's taken over as the acting president of the RCA, and he said about three things to me. He said that, you know, the whole process in court was taking too long. The Rajasthan cricket team was not finding a place. They would have probably been kept out of IPL matches. And what's most important, the grant that BCCI gives to Rajasthan Cricket Association to run cricketing affairs. That was not forthcoming, and they were finding it very difficult to run the affairs of cricket without money.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, you know, the entire picture becomes very clear, Harsha, when you just look at the numbers. 23 out of the 33 districts voting against Lalit Modi. These are the same people, a lot of them, who voted for him because he won really by a thumping margin in May. And now almost all of them have turned against him because they know that this is possibly the only way out.
Absolutely, Akash. This is the election that I covered, and I remember all these faces. These were the very districts that voted for Lalit Modi, got people together, did a video conferencing, you know, had huge cutouts of Lalit Modi all over the Cricket Association stadium. So these were the same people who have now voted him out, which just goes to tell you that on the field of cricket and in politics, you never know where your next ball is coming from.
Absolutely. They say life throws curveballs at you, and here's a curveball for Mr. Lalit Modi, perhaps from his own association. Harsha, any word on what the next step is going to be for the association? Amin Pathan, of course, has been appointed as the acting president, which means, of course, it's not a permanent position. The next step for the RCA, they'll, of course, wait to see what the BCCI's reaction to this is going to be.
Yes, well, they are going to, what they told us is that they're going to have a meeting, and then this resolution, most importantly, this resolution will be handed over to the BCCI, that this is what they have done. Because, you know, remember, Akash, we get about 28 crores from BCCI, and I think immediately they want that. And of course, the stumbling block was Lalit Modi. So they are going to make this very clear that they have impeached Lalit Modi in the interests of cricket. So that's really the resolution that they're going to give to the BCCI, and then they'll see how the BCCI takes it forward, because then they have to have an AGM and constitute their new body.
Right, Harsha, thank you so much for joining us with all those details.